work yesterday before I stopped to let everything set, because I thought that would do that little bit extra so it would all set and dry overnight to make it a bit easier. The other thing I did, and I don't know if you can see, is I curved things so that they started to have a little bit of shape to them to make it a little bit more dimensional when we put things down on our card. So starting with our crib, this we've now made up, and as you can see, basically what I did was I took we've got the two straight panels that we cut out, and then I've taken the angled panel, which is like this, that we cut out, and from that angled panel I cut off two sections, 2 bars basically, sorry, 3 bars, and I took my back panel, my straight panel here, and I attached first of all my mattress, because that has to be behind the bars. So I popped that down, making sure to remember to keep it lower than your back panel, because when you put your front one on it looks strange. I know this because I did it wrong and I had to kind of try and squidge it down after I put everything together, which wasn't easy. So then I put one of my small angled panels that I've now chopped up. So if you look, it's one of these, and I basically took a little section like that 3 just there like that, and I attached it. If we do it that way, I just attached it on there like that. So that gave me this angle here, and then for this side, so that one's going across the panel, and this side is coming off the end of it, so I attach that there. So remember, on this side you just need the glue on the one piece. On this bit you can get away with putting a bit of glue on all of them, but what you need to do as well, I think, is use something like 3D glue gel so that you can start to get a little dimension. Once that was done, I then put my front panel on and obviously offset it slightly, so it attached to the end piece here and slightly down, and the end piece there. The other thing I was careful to do was to make sure as much as possible that these front bars lined up with the back bars. The reason I did that was because visually it made your eyes go really squiffy if you didn't do that, and you couldn't actually understand what you were looking at. So that was another tip. So when you put this one on, try and make sure it lines up, and then this one will naturally line up with the others as well. Okay, the other thing is, when I attached this front panel, I just glued it along here and here, and a little bit on the bars at the bottom here that would have touched the mattress. The rest I left free because in my design I want to hang like a towel over it, so I want to be able to put it behind. So that's that one done. Then I have got my little cupboard wardrobe sorted out. Now I've got my 3 little shelves here that are going to be my 3 little shelf pieces, so they can go down, and as you can see I've just placed them, they're not glued. Those are going to be my little drawers, and I'm going to put some brads in those to make the drawers, and I may well glue gel one of those sort of a bit higher and make out that there's something coming into it. But with this we still have a bit to do, obviously, apart from putting these pieces on. I need to cut. This is my back panel. This is, if you think of your wardrobe, you've got kind of, it's obviously 3D, so the front part, and I say wardrobe, this is not going to be a wardrobe with drawers, so it's more like a chest, no, not a chest of drawers, like I don't know, like a shelving unit almost, drawers at the bottom and then shelves. So this, the back part is obviously going to sit back from the front side pieces. So what I need to do is cut a hole in here, slightly smaller than this, and then glue gel this on top of that so that this piece is behind and it shows behind, so that you get the correct dimension. Now I will show you what I mean. I'll actually show you as we do this. And the other thing is I'm going to emboss this like I did the door, so it gives that panelled effect at the back, so that'll be really cool. And then obviously we put our shelves in place and the drawers and everything, so we've got that to do yet. Oh, and the other thing was that this was Coordinations cardstock, the whitewash collection, so I just ran over it with I've just got an old white nail file block, so I just ran over that really quite roughly, so there were bits that were whiter than others, so it kind of gives that more kind of whitewashed furniture look that you get. Okay, then I worked on my chair, and this was the silver mirror board, and what I did with that was I again used that white block and I went over it all and roughed it up a bit. I've actually got chairs like this. We have those in our nail salon, but in pink. So and it's all silver like this, but what it is it's quite sort of foiled and rough, more rough looking, and it has kind of like black dark areas where it's kind of rubbed in to make it look more aged. So once I'd roughed this up, I did the same thing. I used a black dauber, that one of these daubers with some black ink on, and just went over the edges, and then I stuck down my velvet here. This was the first cut here, but there was a big gap here, and there was all this bit gapped as well, and these bits would normally be your waist, this bit here and these diamonds, but I thought again it would give it dimension, and I didn't actually like the silver, so I stuck down the little pieces here that were in the middle, and I stuck down this back piece, and I inked that very lightly, again just to give it some dimension. Then I put this diamond piece on and this pad on, which I had to cut the edge off because that wasn't actually even cut. This piece was cut because it was the waist, but this end wasn't, so I just snip that off. And again I used my glue gel and just to give it a little bit of dimension on the side there, very, very small amount. Then what I did was I bent it in the middle, so I curved it downwards, but then I took my scoring tool and just curled these edges so that it kind of went in a wave. If you look from the, probably better this way, you can just see it kind of dips down very slightly and then goes up again and then down again at the sides. So again just gives a little bit of dimension. I then put together my little baby grow, and I used the little teddy bear that I cut out and put him on the front, and then I attached my hanger using the glue gel. So that's, and again I've curved it, I've pretty much curved everything to give it dimension. Even my little pot of cream here I've curved, oops, but I've put the writing on it, but obviously only half of it because it's going around the corner, and I coloured in my label. The rest of it was done when I did my pro markers, but that little label and stuff, so I've done little details like that, and like on here on my lotion bottle, etc. So I've done all that, and I've curved things that needed curving. I put together my little balloons because one, they needed curving, but two, the centre balloon, that was an extra piece in order again to give that dimension. So I've just done that. I did have a piece of the velvet fabric, paper rather, for the bow, but actually I decided once I started to put it on, I decided no, I preferred it just left as I'd done it originally, so I left that alone. My little nappy pile, this was actually the same shape as the mattress. All I did was shrink it down, and then I offset several of them and then welded them together. I then, when I coloured it, I just did them very slightly different colours, each alternate one, and I put very light grey kind of dots, hardly there, marks, just to differentiate between each sort of one of the pile. And then I've basically concertina folded it, so you know, one up, one down, so to make like a little fan, and then just spread that out, and again that just gives it some dimension. So we've done that. The parcels and everything were all dimensional, you know, folded. Oh, the other thing I did was my little towel or a blanket, probably blanket really. I just snipped that. That was already cut right down to the bottom apart from that last little piece, so I just cut that free, and I added my little bunny rabbit that we'd cut out, and I gave him some little features, and that's what's going to sit in my crib or cot. So that's where we're at now. So I think the next thing that I'm going to be doing, and I'll do that with you pretty much, is my chest of cabinet, whatever you want to call it. I really don't know what to call it. Anyway, my cabinet. Oh, and I don't know if I said I chopped the feet off to make them shorter because it had these little feet on, and I wanted it to be more like a, not look like the bottom half, which was the dresser that we used. So I chopped those off because I didn't want it as tall. So I think the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to cut that centerpiece out, and then I'm going to come back to you and we're going to start assembling that together. Okay. Oh, just one more thing. I took my chandelier, and it came from pop-up cards, so it had the little tabs on each side, and so I stuck it down in the center here, and then I stuck the tab down, and I used my glue gel, and basically I stood it overnight with 2 bottles standing on each tab to make sure it stays stuck. So basically then, if you can see, look, when we shut it, it will shut nicely. It's not a problem, it's in the middle, and then when we open it up, there we have our chandelier. So that looks really cool as well. Really okay, so as you can see, I've cut the hole in the centre of that chest of drawers. I have embossed and just used my dauber with the ink just to go over that to highlight that embossing. So that's given a really nice look. So that is then going to sit like so. And obviously I'm going to glue gel that to make it sit up, so we're going to have to do that straight onto the card, I think. Now I had, as you saw, got these little shelves that are in this same blue as the background, but I decided that that really doesn't make much sense because it would be in the same colour as the actual main cupboard. So I've just cut some pieces off the section that I cut out, which was obviously then the right width as well, which was even more of a bonus. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I want 2 shelves or 3 shelves. I need to have a think about that because of the things that I'm putting on. And I think actually, I think I'm going to go for 2. I think that will be better. It'll give me more space. Okay. And then I've taken my little drawers. Let's put that to one side for a minute and get my little mat, because I've taken my little drawers and I have inked around the edges. So now I just need to pierce in the middle and put my brads on, but I'm just thinking actually about that, whether I want to use brads or whether I want to just use like little pearls. And I think I will just use these lovely little black pearls actually. I've got some gorgeous little black pearls, so I think rather than piercing a hole, because I just think I might use these instead. Let's have a look. Pop it down. Yeah, I like that. So we'll do those. Down nice and firmly. Oops, not so firmly that I bend the drawer. Okay, now for the middle one, I think we'll just go for something 2 little ones each end. One up there and another up this end. I should have used my craft knife, really, that would have been easier, but not to worry. Okay, so that'll be our drawers. I think that looks quite cute, so that's all that done. So I think now I need to bring in the card and start assembling my chest of drawers, or whatever we've decided to call it, on the actual card. So the first thing I need to do is kind of work out the positioning, because I can't really glue this down first. I have to put that bit down first, so I need to kind of work out exactly where I'm going to be putting that. And I think I'm going to kind of put it down here at the bottom because it has to sit on the floor. Yep, so right at the edge there. Use my glue gel anyway, I'll be able to move this around a little bit, so it's roughly there. So I kind of need it a little bit down from the top and in line with that grey one and that thin line. So let's see if we can make this work. Fingers crossed. And you need to use your glue gel because, or something similar, because you've got the embossing on the back. And it kind of feels like we're on the final hurdle, the interesting bit now, although it's all been really good fun to do. Okay, so now I sit in line with that grey one and that thin one just there. Let's put that there. Okay, I'm just going to kind of leave it like that, and then I'm going to check that that's where I need it to be. Okay, so now I get to move it about a bit. That looks good. Yep. And you can see now what I meant about the fact that it has to be, you have to cut that hole, because also now when I put the glue gel on, you're going to get that real dimension. So hopefully anyway. Okay. Okay, so I had to just quickly fill up my glue gel because I was pretty much out. So I need very little on these pieces down the end here, because that's going to be sitting on my skirting board there, so it doesn't need a lot in the way of height on those little feet. Okay. I think I'm going to put this down. Okay, so I've put the glue gel all on the back. It was a little bit delicate, but we got there. And then we're just gonna try and make sure there's no bits hanging out the sides. Oof, don't want to bend these at the top. What I'm wanting to do is not having to move it too much. Just very lightly tap it, because what I always do, I think, is over press and then it squelches everywhere. Okay, I think I'm going to leave well alone. Just tidy up a tiny bit just here. So far so good, I think. And the thing is with all of this, I think, is that it is quite a slow process, because you have to do, you know, a little bit, let it dry, and then do the next bit. And so I think it takes a little bit more time, apart from the fact that it's obviously quite complicated. Well, labour intensive. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is put on my two little shelves. Now again, I'm going to use the glue gel for that, which is going to be interesting. So we'll just grab the end, and I'm literally just going to do a line . There. And then pop that into place. So I think about there. Okay, now the next one. Aha. Let's just use the glue gel again. And put the centre drawer on. Like so. And then this one. Now I was going to try and leave one as if it was open, but I'm not going to do that because I just think it's just going to look a mess, to be honest. Don't think it will work. That's better. That one looked upside down for some reason. We're going to leave that one to set, but I'm pleased with that.